Hello, my creative crafty friends. This is Gloria Plunkett with Designs by Gloria, here to share how to make all these Santa pants. Not all at once. Today we're going to make the small ones first, and then we'll move on to the medium and then the large ones later. If you'll notice, the pants on these three I'm going to show you have the split pant bottom. And those are made a little bit different than the one I'm going to show you today. The one I'm going to show you, this is the medium-sized bag. The one I'm going to show you today is the smallest of the ones that I've created. And it's real easy to put together, so I figured I'd show you this one first, and then we'll move on to the others that are a little bit more difficult, but not bad at all. So let's get started. I've cut all the pieces and placed them in this little bag. So I'm ready to share with you now that I'm shooting. I've used real red cardstock, basic black cardstock, and Whisper white cardstock. You're going to need 2 pieces of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock, 2 separate pieces. And I'm sharing on my blog, I just showed you there, the dimensions and where to score and where to cut on each of those folds besides this video. Disregard this one piece right here. I shouldn't have added it. That belongs to the other pants that I'm going to show you how to make later on. So just disregard that piece. Here's a belt for the Santa. Cut it 1 1/2 by 8 1/2. The cuff for the pants, again, cut it 1/2 by 8 1/2. And the belt buckle is cut 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. The inner piece of the belt buckle is cut 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. Okay, so now we're going to take those 2 pieces of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock, and we're going to score those at 1/2 inch, a 1 3/4 inch, at 3 inch, and 4 1/4 inch on the 5 1/2 inch side. We're going to turn it to the side on the 4 1/4 inch side. I'm going to score at 1 1/4 inch. This is going to be done for both pieces of cardstock. So they basically make the pant leg. We're going to fold on all the scored lines, and we're going to burnish it with our bone folder to get a good, crisp, neat fold. This makes it easier when you're putting the pant leg together. The pieces just align so much nicer when you have crisp folds. At least that's what I find when I'm creating my projects. I love our bone folder. So we're going to do that to both pieces of cardstock. Again, I'm using real red cardstock. Cut it 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm using 2 pieces. So in a sense, one piece of 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock will make you 2 separate pair of Santa pants. Pretty easy and economical. Now that I've got all the pieces scored, I'm going to take my paper snips, and I'm going to cut from the 1 1/4 inch line down where that intersects there. I'm going to cut up to that 1 1/4 inch score line. I'm going to take a little piece of the corner out because we're not going to need that, and I'm cutting it in an angle so that I don't have a lot of bulk when I'm putting this together. Now I'm cutting on each of those score lines that I had previously scored, which is the 1 3/4, 3 inch, and 4 1/4. I'm going to cut this on both the pants. What I'm doing here is just trimming in a little bit, not hardly any at all, just a smidge, to help the box come together really easily and not create a lot of bulk when we're gluing it together. So here I'm going to do this for both pant legs. Again, this is using real red cardstock. Cut it 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm using 2 pieces. It really comes together very quickly, very easily, and I think you're going to enjoy it. You can put tons of little pieces of candy. You can put lip gloss. You can just, whatever you can think of that will fit in there. I think it's going to look really cute, and it's a great presentation for handing someone a lovely gift. Okay, now that we've got everything folded, we're going to take either fast fuse or our tear and tape to put the pants together. Right now I'm going to use the tear and tape, and I'm going to add it to that tab on both pieces of my pant legs. Just tear it off, Easy peasy. I'm going to burnish the tear and tape a little bit to make it easier to pull off. Get it stuck on there really well. Then I'm going to use my pokey tool and I'm going to lift the sealer on top and then fold over my pants, and they'll meet perfectly there to create essentially a box, which ultimately becomes the pant leg. So just fold them both over, crease, and you want to make sure that that folded piece where your pant comes together is towards the back of your project, to make it look cleaner and neater on the front. I'm taking some Tombow glue and I'm adhering those flaps together. I apologize, I'm out of frame there a bit, but you know what you can see what I'm doing here is just kind of adding a little bit of Tombow glue. I way overdid it right there. It doesn't take a whole lot to put these together. I'll step away here for a second to clean up all that glue off my hands. Again, you want the place where the seams come together to be towards the back of the plant. So the front will be the last piece that the front of the leg will be the last flap that you fold over. Here I'm using some fast fuse to put the pieces together. And this will be the inside of the pants. Of course, it got stuck on my pad there, but no worries. It came up. We're putting it together, only I'm out of frame again. I apologize. Okay, so now we have our two pant legs, and we're going to glue those pant legs ultimately together. But right now we're going to make the cuff for the pant leg. What we're going to do is take the 1/2 inch by 8.5 inch piece of white cardstock, and you're going to burnish it over and over and over, just like I'm doing right now with my bone folder. I've done that ahead of time just to save some time. And ultimately they come apart like I have pictured here. And you just pull the two pieces apart from each other, and that'll give you two cuffs out of that one piece of cardstock. Now one side's really smooth and the other side has texture. We want the side that has texture to be on the pant cuff. Okay, you find your crease where your pants come together, put a little bit of Tombow, and we're going to adhere this all around the pant leg. So here I'm simply placing the half piece of cardstock and adhering it with some Tombow multi-glue all the way around. And you really don't need a whole lot of glue, just a little bit to get this stuck together, because the paper's thin at this point, or you've already split it in two. So you don't want to overdo the glue because it'll just ooze everywhere. You just keep going all the way around. Now the cuff, or the size of the cardstock, is a little bit larger than what you really need, but I figured I would just leave it like that instead of cutting it exact, in case sometimes you get a little cattywampus when you're putting it around and you need just a little bit extra. I find it's easier just to cut off what I don't need and ensure that I have enough when I'm adhering it to the cuff, to the pant leg. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to the other side, finding where that fold was, where the pant leg came together. I had a little piece that wasn't glued all the way. Fix that with the Tombow. Again, adhering the Tombow and my cuff leg with the textured side up, the smooth side down, because we want a little bit of texture on the cuff. Make it look a little bit like fur. And we're also going to glue this pant leg cuff all the way around. Remember, just a little bit of glue is all you need. You don't need to do a whole lot of adhering here. Just a little dab of Tombow mono glue. And a little bit more. Bring it around the corner. And we're going to cut away the excess. And our pant legs cuffs are done. Now we need to glue the two pant legs together. And with that, I'm going to use the Tombow mono glue. I'm looking to see where the pieces are where the pant legs came together, and I want to make sure those are on the back of the leg. I've got a little bit of overhang there. I'm going to take my paper snips and simply trim it down and get it looking a little bit smoother. Okay, now again checking to see where my seams are so they can be towards the back. I don't want them towards the front of the pant leg. Now I'm going to use a good bit of Tombow glue to glue those two pant legs together. And just put them down on my table and press, press, press. It doesn't take very long for this Tombow glue to adhere, so I'm just using my bone folder to kind of push those seams together. Make sure they adhere really well. I don't have any gaps in between the legs. Push together for a few seconds and hold it there. Doesn't take long. It's amazing how quickly this glue really adheres well. There. Now I'm going to take the 1/2 inch by 8.5 inch basic black piece of cardstock and burnish it just a couple times to make it a little bit more flexible so it goes around the belly part of my pants nicely. Again, just a little bit of Tombow. Don't want to overdo it like I did initially. And just adhere it right to the edge of the pants. Hold it down for a few seconds, then fold it back at the corner. Add a little bit more Tombow and bring it around. We're going to do this all around the entire pant leg. This is going to create your adorable little Santa belt. Just need to line it up on the corner, fold it back in that little corner where we're coming around, and adhere a few seconds. Come back there, make sure everything's adhered and sticks well. Again, this piece is going to be just a little bit longer than we need, but I'd rather have a little bit extra than not enough. So I'm going to adhere and see where those two pieces come together. I'm going to take my paper snips and snip off the excess. Ensure I got full coverage all the way around. And you've created your Santa pant leg belt. Isn't that adorable? It's coming together, y'all. Now we're going to put the belt buckle in. You take the 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch piece of gold foil. Place some Tombow on the back. Again, a little dab will do you. Center it on the seam where those two pant legs come together. And hold it down. Take the 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch piece of basic black cardstock. Place a little bit of Tombow on that and place it right in the center of the gold foil to give the illusion of a belt buckle. Didn't have my tweezers with me, so I went ahead and used my fingers. A little challenging there, but we got it done. All right, coming together. Now we're going to do Santa's suspenders. And I've gotten another 1/2 inch by 8.5 inch pieces of real red cardstock. There, I'm telling you to disregard that other piece. I didn't mean to have it in this session. So we're going to take the bone folder again and just brush the cardstock through that bone folder to make it a little bit more flexible. We're going to take the Tombow glue, add a little bit at the bottom, maybe about maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch. Center it on both fronts of the pants. Hold it there for a few seconds. Let it set. Make sure they're straight up and down. Add your Tombow to the other suspender. Center it on the other pant leg. and hold. Then come around back, and we're going to want these suspenders crisscrossed. So they're going to be not straight back like you would think. They're going to be angled a little bit. As you can see here, I'm angling it a little bit on each side so that they come together in the middle back of the pants. And we're going to glue that on that side. And I'm going to take the other suspender, put a little bit of Tombow on there, angle it again to make that crisscross in the back so it looks like real suspenders. Hold there for a few seconds. Now I'm going to add a little bit more Tombow in between those two suspenders where they both cross each other, and I'm going to hold the Tombow there so that the straps stay crisscrossed together in the back. And there is our Santa pant leg. Easy peasy and done. Just some Tombow multi-glue, our bone folder, paper snips, fast fuse, or tear and tape, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, I appreciate you giving me a thumbs up and share and